But for now, South Africa's biggest annual video gaming, computer, technology and geek culture exhibition kicks off today. Rage sees tens of thousands of enthusiastic fans descend on the Dome in Johannesburg for the three-day event. To tell us more, I'm joined in studio by Nag Online Editor Dane Remendes. Thank you so much for joining us, Dane. A lot of relationships are going to be in trouble this weekend, hey, as people go hide out at the Games Centre. What to expect?
What to expect? Well, as you said, it's Africa's largest video game technology and geek culture exhibition. So basically, what you should expect from Rage is a massive celebration of nerd culture. Like,
sure.
That's really what it is.
Help some of us understand, what is nerd culture?
So nerd culture is video games, sort of superhero movies, pretty much anything like comic books, cosplay, which is another thing as well, which is where people dress up as their favorite characters from video games and movies and that sort of thing. I'm sure you've seen it all over the internet, like people dressed up as Captain America and Superman and Wonder Woman. And yeah, it's pretty much anything that, yeah, just geeky pursuits, really.
Sure,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And what is different about it this year? I mean, what can people expect that they haven't seen over the years? Because it's been running for a number of years. 13, I believe?
16. This is its 16th birthday. It's almost old enough to drink. Yeah, the expo can just walk around slurring. Yeah, you know, it's up there.
Right.
Yeah, so the thing that changes every year, obviously, is what's on show. So which video games are on show, which movies will be on show, which, you know, what sort of new merchandise and hardware and all that sort of stuff will be there. That changes every year. So the show might seem similar, but what's on offer every year is quite different.
Right. What are you looking forward to the most?
It's always the games for me. I mean, Rage is always going to be about video games for me. So that's the biggest thing for me, because like this year we've got over 30 video games, not only new games, not only games that are out right now, but unreleased games as well, which is a pretty big deal. I mean, so we'll get code from the developers overseas and the publishers, and you'll be able to actually play all these unreleased games at Rage.
Lovely.
Yeah, so that for me is always going to be the biggest thing. I mean, I grew up with video games, so seeing all these new things, and I mean, it's sort of lost some of its luster for me, having worked in this industry for so long, but it's still exciting to see, you know, the look on people's faces as they see games that they've been waiting for years, and this is the first time they'll see them and get to play them.
Right, you talk about getting code from overseas. Are we seeing that locally? We actually producing our own content?
Yeah, there are actually locally developed games at Rage. So there's a stand called Home Coded, and there's I think there's 9 games on show this year from local developers who are creating their own video games. We've had a few success stories over the years. They're not really publicized as much as they should be, but I mean, Broforce is an example, Desktop Dungeons, that sort of stuff. Like, we've had some, and Viscera Cleanup Detail, which is strange to say out loud, that name. But yeah, we've had a few success stories over the years.
Okay, let's talk to someone who has never been to Rage and is contemplating going today as we sit here and have this conversation. What do you leave behind? What do you take with you?
Yeah, I would say that anybody who hasn't been to Rage and goes there will be super surprised by just how sort of big this community has become. I mean, we get 35,000 people through the door every year, and we're expecting growth this year. I think that the biggest thing will be this, just being introduced to this new space and this whole new sort of environment and culture and community, you know, and seeing things like virtual reality. You'll see things that you might never have been exposed to before. You'll learn something. Like, Rage will educate you on sort of this sort of stuff that's out there on technology and games and geek culture in general. You know, I mean, you'll be able to, like, you'll learn about cosplay. You'll see people dressed up as your favorite characters, which it's really unlikely that you're going to see that just walking through the streets of Joburg, you know, like, so, I mean, it's special. And I mean, the vibe at the show as well is incredible every year. It's something that we all look forward to. It takes a lot of work to put it together, and once it's going, when you're there, you can feel it. You know that you're at Rage, and it's a very specific sort of emotion that comes with the show. You know?
I'm not a gamer, but you've definitely sold it. So I think I want to play dress up and come through. What are you dressing as? Just out of curiosity.
We've laughed about this a bit now. I'm going to come dressed as my boss, who is a man, but I'm going to dress as him if he were a woman.
Oh,
that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting. Please do take pictures. Put them up on social media. We'll check those out.
You'll see him at the show. My boss's name is Michael James. I'll be Michaela Jameson.
Oh, okay. And you ran this past him, and he's cool. You'll keep your job after that.
I don't think he's cool with it, but I don't really care either.
Thank you so much for coming through
Thanks for having
to us this morning. Do stay with us. Coming up, the latest